I'm Allison from Learning at the Primary Pond. I'm a literacy specialist, and in this video, I'm going to explain what hard and soft G and C are, and I'm going to also explain when I teach them and how I teach them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you're notified every time I post a brand new video about teaching literacy in K2. Okay, so hard and soft G and C. You probably know this already, even if you haven't necessarily used the terms hard and soft. So the letter G can represent two different phonemes or make two sounds. It can say G like in gate or J like in giraffe. So really this soft, so this is the hard sound and this is the soft. I'll put H and S. And with this, it's the same phoneme as the letter J. So this is the phoneme in giraffe, right? So think about the word jar, giraffe, sound is the same. So hard and soft G. And then we of course have hard and soft C as well. So we have C in the word cone, k, or we have C in the word city, s. So this is hard and this is soft. So interestingly, when we write the sound for the letter C, really this doesn't mean anything. I always want to go and write this, but we have two phonemes for the letter C. We have the hard C, like K, k, and then we have the soft C, like S, s. So these are the two phonemes for the letter C, okay? Hard and soft. Now, let's talk about when to teach this, how to teach this, all that good stuff. So the hard sounds for both letters, whether it's G or C, those hard sounds are more common. And so when I teach the alphabet in kindergarten, the hard sounds are the only sounds that I teach. And I don't cover the soft sounds throughout the rest of the year. That said, sometimes words will come up and the kids notice, or I point out to them, just like a word in a book or whatever you're working on, the kids will notice that the G doesn't make the G sound or the C doesn't make the K sound, okay? And so I just briefly mentioned to them, hey, you're right, or hey, did you notice in this word the G actually says J, like the letter J. Isn't that interesting? The G has two different sounds. And you can do the same thing with the letter C. I think it's important that we point out things that are surprising to kids or that, conflict with what they've been taught, because then, by the time they're ready to really learn about hard and soft G and C, they're ready for it, right? They may even know some words with hard and soft G and C. So I don't hide it. I don't hide the soft sounds per se in kindergarten. I just don't necessarily teach them. In From Sounds to Spelling, my phonics program, in the first grade level, we cover soft C a little bit. I don't cover it in depth because developmentally speaking, kids aren't going to necessarily master soft and hard. Well, they're not going to master soft G or C until later, until after K2. So I'm not expecting mastery in terms of spelling. Really, my goal is just for them to be able to decode words when they come to one that has a soft C. And really, if they're not sure which sound to try, all they need to do that I teach them is try the hard sound k and try the soft sound s, and eventually they'll figure out what it is, right? So they have to be flexible. So I'll introduce that in first grade. Honestly, sometimes the soft G comes up as well. Just like what I mentioned with kindergarten, if a word comes up that has soft G, I don't hide that fact from them, right? It's okay to tell them, hey, this is the soft G sound. It says J. You don't necessarily have to have a full out lesson every time you mention a phonics pattern. You can even have up on the wall different sounds that the kids haven't been taught yet, because when they're writing, they may need a certain sound. So it's okay. You can introduce sounds and talk about them briefly. You don't have to go into a whole full depth lesson. In second grade, we do cover hard and soft G, and then, review hard and soft C as well. So that's kind of how it works as far as timing. Now, you can also do a lot of work, especially when kids are in second grade and beyond, maybe even a little bit of first grade. You can do words that end with soft G and C, and you can do work with multisyllabic words. So like an example of a word that ends with hard G, rug. Picnic has 2 hard C's. And then if you think of like the word circus, that has a soft C and a hard C. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. The letters can appear mid-word too, like rigid, bicycle, rigid being the G, bicycle having the S and the K. So lots of different stuff you can do with this, but again, my main emphasis in K2 is really just for them to be able to read these words or to know to try 2 different sounds, not so much for them to be able to spell words with these patterns. Now let's talk about how kids, one way for kids to know, in addition to just experimenting, if a letter is going to have the hard sound or the soft sound. So I have this little poster. It's for hard and soft G, but it also really applies to hard and soft C. So the most important question that I teach my kids is, in terms of this concept, is what sound comes right after the G or C, or what letter comes right after. Now, I know now that if the letter A, O, U, L, or R comes after the letter G, then the G is going to have the hard sound. If the letter E, I, or Y comes after the, letter G, then the G is likely going to have the soft sound. So we need to look at the letter afterward. When I was first teaching, when I was a student in school, I actually didn't know this rule. So I am curious, when you were in school, or maybe when you were in college getting your teaching degree, if you have one, I am curious if you were taught this rule as well, to look at the letter right after the letter G. Were you taught A, O, U, L, R, E, I, Y? Were you taught that pattern? Let me know in the comments. If you were taught that, just say yes. And if you weren't taught that rule, just say no. So the same thing applies for hard and soft C. Because if you think about, so we've got A, O, U, L, R. If you think about C, A like in the word cat, C, O like in the word cope, C, U, cup, C, L, clap, C, R, crib. I had trouble coming up with that one. CE, like in cereal. CI, like in circus, the first part. And then CY, like in cycle. Those are also soft. So when kids learn A, O, U, L, R, right after makes it hard, that applies for both hard and soft G and C. Or not hard and soft, but it applies for both G and C. So this is a helpful rule. Again, really, I think the most important thing is that they just know that there's 2 sounds, and then when they come to a word that has the G or the C, if something's not working right, then they just try the other sound. So that flexibility, I think, is really important. Okay, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you would like some more information on what phonics patterns to teach, as well as when it's developmentally appropriate to teach those skills, I would love to share my free scope and sequence with you. It has a bunch of phonics skills for kinder, first, and second grade. Actually lasts you through the whole year. Tells you when to teach them. I have little notes for you about why I teach them at certain times. So that's a freebie, and there's going to be a link in this post that you can look for to download that freebie. It'll go straight to your email. Hope that's helpful to you, and I hope you enjoyed the freebie. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.